is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic.
Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling, insight news, and reviews on a daily basis. And today, it's Friday. We are only 2 days away from Sunday, when the AEW Revolution PPV takes place. So on today's show today, we're going to be predicting that card. We're going to go through it all match by match, and it's going to be a fun one. There's no doubt about it. Already out of the gates, a few comments in the chat. We got Fernando, shout out to you. Maria, shout out to you as well. And Numero One Superfly, happy predictions day to you as well. So without further ado, let me introduce the panel, and let's kick things off. Introducing the Tuesday Night Delight on a Friday, answering the question, how awesome is Megan Bayne? Shad.
Megan Bayne is phenomenal, bro. Like, it's one of those cases where you can tell a superstar is a star just off of the eye test, and she looks like an absolute, like, Greek goddess. Like, I know that's a lot of the case of her character, but it fits the mold. And then when you see her wrestle, my goodness, dude, it's amazing. She's such a powerhouse. I've said it before. This is like the year of the muscle mommies. You've seen so many powerhouse women's wrestlers across the board of every promotion, and she definitely is one of those ones. So salute to her, and I'm excited for the day, man. Predictions. I'm a sicko. Got a little bit of allergies, so I am a little bit of a sicko. And his card is stacked. It's a crazy card. So, yeah, man.
Absolutely. It is one of the craziest, most stacked cards in wrestling I have ever seen. There's no doubt about that. And like you said, Megan Bayne, the Greek goddess. I mean, sometimes wrestling nicknames, it feels like, wrestlers have kind of, sat down and brainstormed ideas. With this one, to your point, I think somebody went up to her and said, you look like, you're carved like a Greek god. And she's gone, I'll take that, thank you very much, and repackaged herself as such. So undoubtedly, a good choice.
You got to appreciate people that put a lot of effort into, like, their ring attire. Like, that's so important, man. Like, I can't stress that enough. You want to stick out, you got to look the part, and you have to make sure that you visually are someone that captivates the fans to want to see. A lot of people have a lot. I was watching it's not AEW related. I was watching the Evolve show, right? And there was a tag team match, and one of the girls was like wearing like some clothes that you would probably just wear regularly, like some like denim jeans and a shirt, and no knee pads, nothing. I was so confused on what it is, and how are you supposed to stick out like that? So
yeah, no, that is a great point. There's no doubt about it. And when Megan Bayne debuted, she was kind of meant to be a surprise in that Casino Gauntlet. And let's be real, very few people, if anybody there, really knew who she was. She got a bit of a pop because they could tell she was someone, but the internet didn't know who she was either, really, at first. But she was all anybody was talking about. And to your point, I think a large part of that was her look, as well as her being good in the ring. I think the fact she stood out and felt like a star, even though they didn't know what star she was, I think that means something. It does prove that looks are important in professional wrestling, no doubt about it. Fernando says future face of the women's division in AEW, no doubt about it. And DCX Warlord shouting out Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae's gears as well. Two great people.
Bianca makes all of her gear too, which is crazy.
That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. It really is. And the New Day. I forgot the guy's name. There's a guy who designs the gear for the New Day, and I think his name's Dave, and his gear designs are always awesome.
So good,
They go to him like every few months to get new gears, like based on the story and everything. There are others who really care about how they look and how they come across on air for sure. But without further ado, we have got somebody who has just arrived, our third member on the panel today, answering the question, who will win the quiz between Soul and Kobe as to who the bigger fan of AEW is this Sunday. We have Chaos. How are you today, Chaos?
What's good? What's good, everybody? Happy Friday. I know this has been a while since I've been on Friday, but yeah, I couldn't miss this one. This is obviously the prediction episode for AEW Revolution. It's ramping up to be a stacked card. And yeah, I can't wait to chop it up with you guys. So also, quick little announcement as well. Be sure to check out the new episode of Take It to the Table. It went live. Actually went live yesterday, but we re-uploaded it, put it out today. We're talking about obviously John Cena's heel turn. Is it the greatest heel turn of all time? We chop it up with obviously Ben Allison, El Jefe, Shad, and Jordy in the bank. And yeah, I can't wait to chop it up with you guys. Let's get straight to it.
But hold on, you ain't answered this question, bro.
I didn't hear your question. What would you say?
I said
Sunday. Who's winning? Kobe versus Soul in the AEW quiz. This is a big matchup we got going on.
Talking point.
Team Soul. Like that guy bleeds AEW. Like I've never seen. He's a true fanboy. So yeah.
If Soul loses to Kobe on Sunday, he's got to donate all of his AEW belts.
100%, 110%. Yes, 100, and his Ring of Honor belts as well.
Yeah.
We also do need to confirm the time. We're going to confirm it tomorrow for the quiz on Sunday because I was made aware today that the clocks are changing in America again and they're not changing in the UK yet. So for the next 2 weeks, it's another one of those headaches we have twice a year. So we're going to have to figure that out.
Raw is going to be on at like midnight or 11 p.m. I'm not complaining.
Well, the craziest thing, Chaos, is that Raw is actually going to be on like 8 p.m. for us for the next 3 weeks anyway because it's in the UK.
Oh, yeah. That's why
it's going to be unreal, no doubt about it. Fernando says he's looking forward to the quiz. DCX Warlord saying it's Soul. Soul has to be the favorite, but Kobe's confident. Kobe is confident to the point where I'm like, I don't know. I'm starting to think, I don't know. Clark says, I'm just going to not change my clocks and just not confuse anybody. Yeah, fair enough. At this point, that's probably less confusing than actually changing them. But without further ado, let's talk about the match, which I personally think should be the main event of AEW Revolution. One of, in my opinion, the top 3 stories in AEW history. Toni Storm and Mariah May, a Hollywood ending, basically a Falls Count Out Anywhere match. I am so hyped for this, but Shard, who do you think is going to win?
Man. First and foremost, let me preface, I agree with everything that you said there. This has been the feud of all feuds for AEW in the last couple of years. This has been one of the feuds that really is transcended to make you look at their women's division a little bit more serious because the storytelling aspect, the character work, everything between both of these ladies, Mariah May and Toni Storm, has been perfection. Nothing I can really question, nothing I can criticize. They have played its course, gone through different showdowns, pay-per-views, picked it up, swerved, whatever it may be. It's been damn near perfect. And even last night at the red carpet for the new movie that Toni Storm is starring in, Mariah May comes out and attacks her. They're taking it outside of the ring. So the Hollywood ending, it being in LA, the lights are beaming out there. This should be a main event, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it will be, but it is what it is. In regards to who wins, as much as I love Mariah May, man, I think Mariah May is a generational heel for that women's division and one of the best rising stars. It's still Toni's time. She just won the belt back. She's the baby face. This is the feel-good story. This is like her second home. She got the win in her first home. Now she gets the second win at her second home in Tinseltown in Hollywood. This is Toni's time. I got Toni Storm with the victory. And I think this match might steal the show just because it's a Falls Count Anywhere match. I think these women are going to get, but Mariah May really might get very vindictive and sick. And I think Toni's going to have to match that. But I'm going with the favorite. I'm going with Toni Storm with the dub.
I do have to agree with you there, but you mentioned about hometowns. The one thing which is fascinating about this feud is these two ladies have faced each other twice, But this third one is the first one on neutral ground. Of course, their first was in the UK, second in Australia. This time, neutral ground, neither of them have the crowd advantage, but I do agree. I think it's going to be Tony time. What about you, Chaos?
Yeah, man, I do agree that this is definitely one of the best feuds in AEW history. To say it's one of the top three, that's quite a big statement. Obviously, you got CM Punk and the MJF feud. Everyone argues it didn't really thoroughly finish off, but within that time frame, they got a lot going, and they did a lot of stuff in between with the time that they had. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, as well as Hangman and Swerve. I mean, that's what you gotta say. Arguably, maybe Hangman and Omega, because obviously in terms of the long storytelling. But yeah, no, this one as well also has that long term storytelling from when obviously they were best buds, and now they are like blood rivals. And this is AEW at its finest. This is the pocket that we miss for AEW. None of that other stuff, but yeah, no, this is the true pinnacle of women's wrestling, as well as women's wrestling in AEW. This is the best thing they have going right now, and yeah, they need to finish this off with a bang. So, but yeah, overall, my overall pick, it has to be Tony Storm. It's that same storytelling, that storytelling in terms of the babyface has to go through adversity, and then they eventually beat the bully, which is obviously Mariah May. So, but they put in the good work in between it, and yeah, I can't wait for this. So yeah, team Tony Storm, and the question is who's next. That's what I gotta say. But it'll be a great match regardless.
No doubt about it. I'm so pumped for this one. And unanimously, we have chosen Tony Storm. And unanimously, I think the comments have as well. Fernando says Timeless Tony retains. Numero 1 says Timeless Tony retains. And then next, she will defend against Harley Cameron. I would love to see that. No doubt about it. And Clark says that he can't wait for this one, a true Hollywood ending. And Maria says Tony Storm wins in a bloodbath as well. I'm hyped.
That's the one thing I like about AEW, is that the fact that they don't shy away from the women to like really have these hardcore bloodbath type of matches, right? They don't play the whole like, oh, they're women, they shouldn't have to be violent, this, that, and the third. They let them really duke it out and have these type of wars. And I really hope Maria is right, because this is the last chapter for this particular story between them. It needs to blow the roof off of the Staples Center. So
it needs the main event. It needs to be the top of the card.
Not Crypto Arena, Staples Center. All right, the house.
Yeah, that's right. Get it right. Yeah, definitely.
So was this where? This is very off topic. Was this where SummerSlam 2016 was?
Yes.
So that's okay. I've only just, when you said that now, I've only just put 2 and 2 together. Hang on, Crypto is the Barclays Center.
They do it everywhere. Like even look at the Superdome. That was Mercedes Benz. Now it's the Caesars Palace Superdome, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of places are buying like the names of these arenas and stuff like that. Like game is Big Bang take Little Bang.
It's not as bad as in Swansea, right? We used to have, our stadium used to be called the Liberty Stadium because it was like Liberty sponsored it, which sounds cool, so it's fine, right? It's now called the Swansea.com Arena. So it could be worse, guys. It could be worse.
Well, there's an Uber Arena as well, so keep that in mind. I don't know if that kind of sounds all right, but it's Uber.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's better than Swansea.com. Anything's better than that.
That's true.
But let's move on to the next one, shall we? Let's move on to the sudden death round of the predictions. Now, if you've not seen this before, basically we have 30 seconds each to predict each prediction, because there's so many matches on these AEW cards. We can't get through it otherwise, basically. Let's kick things off out the gates with Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. I am extremely excited for this match. I think it is going to be a banger, and I think without a shadow of a doubt, Kyle Fletcher should win, but unfortunately, I don't think he will win. I am predicting Will Ospreay is finally going to get the win, and he is going to move past this. What about you, Shad?
Yeah, I mean, I a lot of it is telling from the interview that I saw Will Ospreay talk with CVV. mentioning that he wants to be the guy. He wants to be the main stage champion. And I think that is going to happen this year. And to make that happen, you got to get him on a hot hand. He's got to come out victorious in this match. I think he gets the dub. This has been a good trilogy. These two guys have been telling a wonderful storyline too. I got Ospreay with the dub.
There we are, almost unanimous once again. Will Chaos make it unanimous? Do you think Ospreay is going to take the dub?
Yeah, I mean, I love this. Their chemistry is second to none. They, no doubt they're going to steal the show. It's going to be a very tough decision what's going to be the match of the night, and especially when you have Will Ospreay that very rarely puts on a match that's like 4 stars or less. So yeah, no, my pick is going to be definitely Team Ospreay. He needs to move on, and if he wants to be the guy, you have to obviously put in that work and obviously go past your biggest rival. So yeah, I'm Team Ospreay as well.
A few weeks ago, I saw this Will Ospreay match. Well, I think David said this Will Ospreay match was like 4.25 stars or something. And I thought to myself, okay, it's skippable then. That's how good Will Ospreay is, right?
Yeah.
And we take him for granted. If he has a 4.5 star, 4.25 star match, you're like, oh, that's a bit below average for him. Oh, I'll skip that one.
Yeah, he's the premier workhorse, man. Like, this is TNA AJ Styles. This is like the work that Shawn Michaels was doing in his prime. Like, the dude is a special in-ring worker, man. Like, he can't hate on it, bro. Like, he can go.
Unless you're Triple H, but
Yeah.
And I respect Ospreay for shooting back. I thought it was corny what he said, but you know what? After listening, I know obviously this isn't Wrestling Republic related, but I like seeing these interviews. And I really like the interview with Ospreay. I like Ospreay's energy and like just his personality, man. He's really like just you could tell he's in a happy space being at AEW, and that I think that he's got to be the guy for that, man. He's waving the flag for AEW, and he's one of the best, if not the best, on the roster, man.
No doubt about it. Numero one and Fernando agree as well, but Maria says Kyle Fletcher, so that is one disagreement there. But here on the panel, we have unanimously said Will Ospreay. So now let's move on to the next one, the Continental Championship, Kazuchika Okada versus Brody King. I'm really excited for this one, but quite frankly, it's quite obvious for me. Okada is going to retain. Do you agree, Chaos?
Yeah, man. I mean, as much as I love Brody King, that guy is, just an absolute monster, and I know he's going to put on a great match with Okada. Okada can pretty much have a good match with anybody, but yeah, it's he definitely doesn't stand out to be the person to take the title away from him. To be fair, I don't even know who's going to take the title from Okada. The guy is just completely gatekeeping that title. But yeah, either way, it's going to be a fun match. It's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to take down the big guy. But yeah, it has to be Okada for me.
Once again, we do agree, but I do think I know who will take the title off of him, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. Shad, what about you?
Brody King should win this match. Okada doesn't need this title anymore. He ain't doing a whole lot with it. Brody King is the epitome of a big man that can transcend that like division, and giving him a title can help him build to being a main eventer. I say that to say this. Okada's winning. They've built this so short term. It's hard. It's just a placeholder match. I got Okada winning. It's going to be a banger, but I got Okada winning. Exactly.
I will say one thing, right? For the amount we were praising this card, and rightfully so, 3 matches in, we are unanimously, along with pretty much the comments, all agreeing. Maybe.
Because we got sense.
Perhaps so. Numero 1 says Okada, Maria says Okada, and Fernando says Okada as well. Again, unanimous Okada. But what about the next one? Because the next one for me is probably the most unpredictable match on the card, and that is MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. I'm really excited for this one. I think it's going to be a banger. I've been loving the feud so far. But I think the way this is going to go is MJF is going to bring out the good guy basically out of Hangman Page. So in order to get there, I think MJF is going to have to beat Hangman a lot more and get in his head a lot more. So therefore, I'm predicting an MJFW. What about you, Shad?
Yeah, I don't think this is the last rodeo for these two guys. I feel like this is a feud that it's so hot, but it can extend and build for a longer time for however they want it to be. That being said, I feel like this is a must win for Max. I feel like Max is coming off of a dual storyline with everything in the Adam Cole being tied to Double J. I think this is a must win. So I got MJF taking the W.
Fair enough on that one. There we are. Again, agreeing on that. Got a comment over on Instagram called This Comeback is Personal 86, who is, I think, taken a bit personally. We haven't messaged him back or something. I don't know what account you messaged us on. If it's the Wrestling Republic one, we generally don't check DMs. But if it is something important, email it to us. But at the same time, we can't go through all the DMs on the Wrestling Republic account. But what about you, Chaos? Who do you predict in this one?
Yeah, it's gonna be. It could go either way. I feel like it's gonna be a very interesting match. I think this is the match that that MJF definitely needed, and to resurge himself. But I'd say I'm gonna go for Hangman. I feel like they're gonna do it. This one is where you might probably do a swerve and get him to actually get his babyface side out. But it's gonna be a brutal match. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Hangman.
The first one where we disagree of the night so far. You making that call, Chaos? A big call. Hangman Adam Page. Up next, we have got the AEW Tag Team Championships on the line. The Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners. Chaos, what's your pick for this one?
Sorry, what was the match again?
Hurt Syndicate Outrunners, AEW Tag Team Championships.
Oh, Hurt Business. I mean, Hurt Syndicate. Sorry. The Outrunners. They're popular as hell. But yeah, they hurt people, and you can't hurt people if you lose. So they're on a good run. I'm loving their style. I'm loving their theme music. I'm just loving everything about Hurt Syndicate. So they're getting what they truly deserve, which is a well-deserved push over in AEW. So yeah, without question, Hurt Syndicate.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. Exact same points. Not even going to start the timer for me. But what about you, Shad?
Hey, yo, we hurt people. We hurt people. I got the Hurt Syndicate watching these two scrubs, man. They're going to beat the brakes out of the Outrunners. They're going to be running out of the arena. That's what's going to happen, bro. I love the Hurt Syndicate. Their style is like a new age version of the Steiner brothers, man. Like, they're such a dope team. These are the stars that we knew they are. I got the Hurt Syndicate.
Big pick. Well, not big pick. Again, it's unanimous. It's a very predictable card, and I didn't even realize this until I'm reading it out. But up next, we have got the TBS Championship because Momo Watatambi. Sorry, I've completely botched that. My speech is all over the shop today, guys. I'm so sorry. But she won the match, of course, at Wrestle Dynasty in Japan to earn an opportunity at any women's championship across any of those four brands. She has chosen AEW, she has chosen the TBS Championship, and she has chosen Mercedes Moné. Now, what I'm predicting for this one is it's going to be a banger. But what I am also predicting is Mercedes Moné. What about you, Shad?
Yeah, this is probably the easiest one to predict. Hard for me to see a Stardom talent winning a TBS title. There hasn't really been a big build to it besides the fact that, like you mentioned, Momo won the Fatal 4-Way match at the New Japan show to get this opportunity. I think this match is going to be great. I respect Mercedes because she's such a fan of the Joshi style that these are matches that she actually wants to have. So I do think they are going to deliver. Momo's dope. Y'all will love her for those who don't know who she is, but I got Mercedes with the win.
There we are. Will Chaos make this yet another unanimous prediction?
Yeah, it's going to be unanimous. I'll just keep it short and sweet. Mercedes Moné.
There we are. It is as simple as that. Now, up next, Swerve Strickland Ricochet. Now, what is very interesting and potentially very telling about this match is the winner becomes the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. And for that reason, I am predicting Swerve Strickland. I'll explain a little bit more a little bit later on. But what about you, Chaos?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like the stipulation kind of gives away the ending. And as much as I'm loving Ricochet's work, he's been the most interesting person. Like this is the most interesting version of him post WWE. So yeah, but I'm loving their rivalry. But it's got to go to Swerve. He's definitely going to be challenging for the title because he's one of the most over guys and he deserves it. So yeah.
No doubt about it. And DCX Warlord says Swerve will retain as well. Fernando is saying Prince Nana is going to turn on Swerve and cost Swerve the match. I mean, that would be shocking. Numero one says Swerve will win. As for Ricochet, he might try and screw Swerve during his championship to lead to a 3 stages of hell match. One day, numero one, we will get that one day. But
Man,
unfortunately,
he predicts
I don't
that
think
match
it's
for
today.
everything.
One day it's going to happen, and then we can be like, numero one was right. 3 stages of hell. It needs to come back. But Shad, who do you reckon's going to win this?
Ah, man, this is a match I'm super excited for. I think this storyline has been remarkable. I think Swerve is like, he's one of the more like reliable superstars that they have. You know that you're gonna get a good match, feud, all of that with him. Ricochet, I have mentioned it. I had a clip of it the other day. He's coming to his own in AEW. He is a big time heel. That being said, this is what you know what? I'm gonna change it up. I'm going with Ricochet.
Wow. Okay.
I got Ricochet with Samantha Irvin debuting in LA.
Okay.
Just after the announcement, well, not even the announcement, the
Because he
launch,
mentioned
I
her
think, of
name
her
in the
album.
promo. He said
You're ringing out your wife.
wife. I got her helping him, and even in the odds with Nana.
That would be nuts.
That
I
would be
hope
nuts.
that happens. That would be the first thing probably of the night, which is unpredictable, I think, on this card. Now, moving on to the next championship match, we have, what is it? The International Championship. That's the one. An International Championship match between Konosuke Takeshita and Kenny Omega. Really excited for this match. I think it's going to be a banger. But I do think Kenny Omega is going to win. I think we will see a title change. And the reason for that is, as pretty much everyone under the sun is predicting, all in Texas, Okada, Omega, title unification. And just please make sure it is a proper unification of those two belts, because there's no point in having both of them. But this match, I think, is going to be thoroughly entertaining, and Omega will get the win. What about you, Shard?
Yeah, I got Kenny Omega again to win as well. I don't think you have his first big time match in AEW on a pay per view, and it comes in the cost of a loss. I'm not gonna lie to you, Takeshita to me has a lot of merit being champion, but I don't think it hurts him too much. I think this can potentially help him get to the higher part of the card, and I do think, like you said, foreshadowing that's the big match, him and Okada, title for title. So I got Kenny.
There we are. Once again, we are back on the same page. But what about you, Chaos?
This match is going to be amazing. You know, Takeshita can go toe to toe with anybody. Put on great 5-star matches. Did it with Orange Cassidy. He's done it with Darby Allin. So yeah, this is going to be a banger. This might be another twist. I feel like Takeshita might win. I'm gonna go Takeshita. Even though that'll be another big name to elevate and give more momentum to for Takeshita. Then I think he needs it more than Omega, to be fair. So yeah, I'm gonna go Takeshita.
Fair enough. There we are. Another one where we have disagreed. So far, there are 3 matches where all of us haven't agreed. One of them is MGF and Hangman, where Chaos went Hangman. One of them is Swerve versus Ricochet, where Shard went Ricochet. And one of them is Takeshita versus Omega, where Chaos went Takeshita. It's going to be interesting. But will we all agree on who is going to walk out of AEW Revolution as champion? Before we get this started, I want to clarify something. This prediction is going to be who is going to walk out with the belt, right? Not just who's going to win this match, who's going to walk out with the belt. Basically, will Christian Cage cash in? And will he successfully cash in specifically? So, without further ado, Moxley versus Cope. Hot take here. I'm not really interested in this feud. And I don't know why, because I like both guys. But I look at this and genuinely, this and the Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners, which I think is a fun match, but it's like, low mid-card match. Those two matches are the only ones on this card which I'm not actively excited for. Every other match I'm like, can't wait to see. But the AEW World Championship match should not be talked about in that light. It should be, we should be so excited and hyped for it, especially with the amount of build that it's had. It's just been every single week to me. It's been repetitive. And I think that's been a theme of this Death Rider storyline. And unfortunately, I do think that theme is going to continue because I don't predict Cope will win. I don't predict Christian will successfully cash in, even though I really want it to happen. Instead, I'm very just straight up predicting Jon Moxley will retain. Chaos, I'll send this one to you first. Jon Moxley or Adam Copeland?
I'm in the same boat as you. I do not care for this thing, and I think the thing that really dragged it down is because of the Death Riders. I think this could have easily been a sort of after match, and they will put the work in. But yeah, I do not care for it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the main event. But it is what it is. But yeah, in terms of who's going to win, I got my money on Cope, and then Christian Cage is going to cash in because they will always have a long-standing rivalry, and so yeah, you will get a babyface win, and then another heel is going to take it away from him. So yeah, it's just going to be one of those things. Christian Cage, I think, after all the work that he's been putting in after the past couple of years at AEW, he deserves at least a world championship run, whether it's short-lived or whether it's a decent run. I know a lot of people are going to be complaining, the ex-WWE people are going to be taking the title. Look, he's been putting in the work, so yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Edge is going to win, and yeah, the night is going to end on a sour note, with Christian Cage winning the world championship. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Wow. A big call. Quite a few people have been saying that, but could that fantasy booking come to fruition? I would absolutely love it if it happens, because I agree with DCX Warlord. Christian Cage is already the champion in my eyes, and Cedric Alexander will help the Hurt Syndicate retain. That could be fascinating.
What's his contract though? Is his 90 days up? I don't think so.
Probably not. I don't know, mate.
Because even though he went to NXT,
Cedric don't need to help them to beat those guys. Come
saying.
on, bro. Lashley could beat both of them by himself. MVP could beat him up by himself.
Come on, no dissing the Outrunners now. Come on. TLK98, shout out to you, who said they just came across our channel and they subscribed. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Shout out to you, Fernando. Hell of a prediction here. Josh Alexander is going to appear and help Moxley win and join and replace Yuta on the Death Riders. A wild prediction, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. Maria says that Jay White will turn on Cope. Another wild prediction. A lot of theories out here going round, but Shad, what's yours?
Yeah, so going into it, what Chaos said is something that I really thought, and I think it would be a good turn of the coin to just kind of clean our system from this Death Rider storyline, faction, this, that, and the third. But like everything tied to Wheeler Yuta has me thinking that there's going to be an extension to this storyline. And I looked at the comments. I promise you, I'm not stealing y'all's idea because I thought about this too. I think the telling thing was two things on Wednesday. One, Wheeler Yuta embracing Cope, how Moxley reacted to him. Two, Jay White saying that he's going to be on Cope's side. Switchblade Jay White is better served as a heel. I like him as a heel better. That's my guy when he's a heel. Wheeler Yuta is better served as a babyface. I think Wheeler Yuta will break off the Death Riders on Sunday. I think this is going to be a chaotic match. And at the end of the night, I do think we will have a new champion. And I think it will be Cope. I have Adam Copeland coming out victorious. Big time babyface moment. I think this is going to be one of those situations where we're in LA. They need to put the belt on someone to get people interested in the main event scene, interested in AEW. You saw the big moment of everyone singing Metalingus in Australia. Like stuff like that can really turn the page for it. And I don't think Christian Cage is going to cash in that match. I think it's going to be later on. And I think we will get to that. I got Jay White attacking Cope after the match, though. And I think that's the next storyline. I think we will see the end of the Death Riders. I think stuff will destruct form. Maybe all the members kind of break off. Who knows? But I do think Cope is going to come out victorious and be our new AEW champion. So yeah, we all got a different winner, huh?
That is crazy. We agreed on, most of this card, 80 to 90% of it, and then right at the end, completely disagreed with each other. But I do agree with you, Shard, right? Everybody knows I'm a big plain pasta guy. I love plain pasta. But Jay White as a babyface, I mean, the dude is more boring than plain pasta, honestly. As a heel, he is one of the best in the business. As a babyface, nothing is there for me. I want that heel turn.
It's frustrating because, like, you see, like, the work he did towards his last couple of years in New Japan and, like, that, like, promo work. He's so, like, rugged and, like, he talks his talk. That's, like, I don't know why they're so far removed from it. I'm not going to ever say someone is, like, they dropped the ball or fumbled him or whatnot because I think shows why people like him. He's a great superstar at the end of the day. But, having him with the Bang Bang Gang and then this whole storyline as a babyface, like, it's like you're misusing your resources, right? You got a star player that's really good at this, but you're having them do something completely different on the field.
You won't say it, I will. I think they've dropped the ball with him, but they can pick it back up, and I hope they do on Sunday. DCX Warlord says Dijak helps Moxley win.
Why?
That's another option too. But I think it's just they made a big point about how there's none of the Death Riders are going to be there on Sunday. So I think that's why people are speculating somebody's going to debut and join them, and it's probably Josh Alexander or Dijak seems to be the common theories.
I don't want to see either of those guys.
Nor do I, to be honest, but
like
they could.
Josh Alexander is not that good of a heel to me, also.
That's true, yeah.
Like,
no,
his heel stuff, like, right before he left TNA, it wasn't that good. Dijak is cool. I'm not going to say it, but I think, like, he's a little overrated to people's standards a little bit.
I'm sorry. I agree. Like, his best stuff for me is when he was with, like, when he was feuding with Keith Lee. Other than that,
I mean, I agree on that part.
He's a hell of a worker, but, like, he's, like, not cool, man. Like, he's, like, not a cool character. Like, I don't know. I think, like, this is the thing. Everyone talks about Dijak in the breath that he's, like, a guy who should have been in the main event scene in WWE. When we know the main event scene in the WWE is a dime a dozen. It ain't easy to get on that. So, and then thing is this, right? He's been gone for a little while now. I haven't seen him sign to AEW. I haven't seen him, like, do a whole lot of, like, compelling stuff. I know he's been on MLW before and whatnot, but, like, he hasn't been super, like, captivating. Like, when Cardona, right? He hit the ball rolling, and he was the hottest independent wrestler after he got let go. Like, a lot of other people do the same exact things, man. Athena came in, Swerve came to AEW. Like, I've seen so many people prove that they are better than what they were treated. For him, I haven't seen it yet. And not saying that he's not good. I just think he's not no superstar like people say he is. Like, I won't think the crowd is going to go crazy if Dijak is there. I think it's going to be crickets.
I think they'd be loud for him, but I don't know if they'll care too much in like 8 weeks' time. That's my perspective.
I don't think he would get react. What do you think, Chaos? You think he's going to get big reaction?
Who?
Dijak?
No.
Oh, in the arena he would. He wouldn't get a big reaction in a few weeks' time. In the arena for the debut, he'd get a reaction.
Yeah, it would get a pop, but it's not gonna be like
A big pop.
Stone Cold coming out. Like, come on.
Well,
Now.
no, obviously not. No.
Yeah,
It's
he will
not going
get
to
he will
be
get he'll get
Adam
a couple
Cole.
yays. He will get a couple like, oh my god, that's
Like if
that's
Cedric. So if like Cedric debuted with the Hurt Business, right? That's gonna get a big pop because everybody is familiar with Cedric, especially being part of that team. But like it ain't like if Dijak pops up over there. I swear this is no disrespect to Dijak. I'm not trying to
Sounds like a
like.
diss.
It is what it is, bro. You call it what it is, Donovan.
But a couple more comments. Your numero one says John Moxley retains but will be going solo. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and he'll be left with no choice but to align with you know who
Here
to
comes
help
the
save
money.
AEW.
Here comes the money. Yo, John Moxley, if he does lose, he needs to take a vacation. Go on a Jericho cruise. Take a couple Jericho cruises. Like
he is definitely he's overdue with something. Like ever since CM Punk got injured, he has not had no time off. I remember he said he was meant to have like a vacation, and ever since then he's been.
No, he did. He got 2 months, 2.5, I think it was.
I think Mox needs 6.
Nah.
When he dropped the New Japan title, took 2.5 months off before this Death Rider storyline started.
That flew by. I didn't even realize.
Moxley needs on, and I swear this is not me. I think Moxley is one of the most one of my favorite dudes in the business throughout the last 10, 15 years. He needs to be off TV for 6 to 8 months so we can miss him again.
What?
Yes, they don't need him right now.
I agree. They
don't need him right now, and we need to miss him again. Write him off, man. Let Colt completely destroy him. Put him off on his shelf, and then let him, raise your kids, man. Renee's working, so respect to her. You could be a stay-at-home dad for a little bit.
Do you know what? I was saying this yesterday. Screw it. I'll say it on air. I'm going to get heat for this, right? I think in 2027, John Moxley needs to go back to WWE and return as Dean Ambrose. Because I think it is at a point now in AEW where he's kind of done everything and it kind of feels a little bit stale. Now, sure, you can have different gimmicks and all of that stuff, but I do think it's been long enough now and with this new regime that 2027 WWE, I think that's probably the most interesting thing he can do for his career.
He is closer to hitting Jericho territory than he is to getting back to that initial Moxley territory that we had in AEW. I don't disagree with you. I think he's the paint isn't glossy anymore with him. He's not. This is the thing, right? Moxley's style is so slow, methodical, and all that, and his promo game is the same thing. It's been like that, especially when he was Dean Ambrose, right? He's super weird. He's telling you a bunch of stuff that you don't know what the hell it means. AEW fans don't care about that. They like Will Ospreay. They like Swerve. They like Ricochet. They like these guys that are, jumping out the gym, having banger fun matches. That's kind of what the people are, gravitating to. So he does have more of, especially now that Hunter's running it, got the Shield reunion. I love everything he's done for AEW, and I think he's someone that can cement himself as a Mount Rushmore person.
And I think
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I agree with you in terms of that's what the fans are looking for in terms of you already got the athleticism in AEW, and no one's really going for that hardcore slow methodical thing anymore, because there was a time when AEW started, we wasn't really getting that in WWE because it was all hokey. It's all just not as good. But now you are getting those brutal matches. You are getting those those matches that actually tell a proper story and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I can understand why a lot of people have kind of moved over to WWE, because you get those kind of things. And yeah, I feel like in this new regime, I agree. I think he could definitely flourish. Maybe not as Dean Ambrose. I think he could still go there as John Moxley. I know they like to trademark stuff, but yeah, I feel like the Dean Ambrose character is dead. I don't
coming
want
back as being a Moxley and then approaching a Seth, approaching a Roman, be like, no, this is who I This is who I am now, right?
Yeah.
That
Oh,
guy's
that's
not
Shield
here.
storyline. Main event, WrestleMania 43. Yes, please. That is what I want. Give it to me. But thank you guys so much for watching this show today. I really appreciate all the comments throughout on all the platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, on Instagram as well. Apart from that guy who keeps getting mad, we're not messaging him back, and I've never heard of his account before. But also thank you to Chaos and thank you to Shad for joining me here today. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow, and we will see you guys then. Peace.